All right, here is reading for May 8th. So we're going to read a little bit about Bessie Coleman. Then we're going to do some comprehension questions, a little vocab practice. I have some hidden because I've already written some answers in. And then a think and respond short answer question. Okay, so let's first read through about Bessie Coleman. Bessie Coleman was the first black woman to receive her pilot's license in the world. The air is the only place free from prejudice, said Coleman. After receiving her pilot's license in 1922 in France, she returned to the U.S. and made her first flight as an African-American woman. During a time in U.S. history when there was discrimination against black people, Coleman became an aviation pioneer. She performed stunts, parachuted, and did flying tricks aerial shows. While practicing for one show, her plane crashed and Coleman was killed. Bessie was only 34 years old. So now you're going to answer some comprehension questions. The first one, why was Bessie Coleman famous? So what did she do? She's the first somebody who did this. Okay. 2, where, and I circled the keyword where because it's a where, not a when, did Bessie receive her pilot's license? And then what do you think Bessie meant when she said the air is the only place free from prejudice? Okay, remember prejudice is being discriminated against, feeling like you don't belong based on something. And in this case, it was because she was an African American. So why do you think she said the air is the only place she doesn't feel that she doesn't feel discriminated against, that she feels like she belongs? Okay, for the vocab practice, we're going to do synonyms and antonyms again. Remember, synonyms are the same and antonyms are the opposite. So the first word there, prejudice, which we just talked about over here. Prejudice means that people are, they think different of you or they think less of you based on something. So in this case, it was that she was an African American woman. Just like we read about Jackie Robinson and Satchel Paige, and they were discriminated against, or people had prejudice against them because they had a different color of skin. So if I'm looking at these and I look at the same and the opposite, the synonym and the antonym, I can say that a synonym for prejudice is racism. There are different ways people can be prejudiced against you. We talked about before how women didn't always have the same rights as men. That's a different kind of prejudice, okay? Performed, if you think about if you're in a performance, you're out in front of people showing people how to do something. So the antonym for performed would be hid, because if you are hiding, you are definitely not showing somebody what to do. And then the last one, pioneer. Pioneers are usually people who are out leading the way. They are the first to do something. Okay, so if I'm looking at the opposite, and I wrote the wrong side, the antonym for pioneer would be bystander, because if you're a bystander, you're just kind of standing back. You're not really involved in showing people what to do. Okay, so on these, now you need to figure out the antonym on this one and then the synonym on these two. Then the think and respond. What legacy did Bessie Coleman leave behind for future generations? Kind of like what we just read about with Jackie Robinson. What legacy did he leave? Well, what legacy did she leave for future generations? She paved the way for what?